Okay, so for some reason, the camera and the light is making my eyes do this scary thing, which I don't understand because my eyes are not blue. So I've never seen my eyes reflect like this ever before. But I really want to make a video. I feel really like called to do it. Um, so I'm gonna just do it. And I ain't got no script because we don't do that over here. And it's my jiggly friend. But I'm having like a 90s sort of day, so she's here. Um yes, friends. It's been a really long time since I made a video on Ace stuff, and I feel like this channel's always been all over the place. Um but especially recently after the Emilie saga, um and then like my brand announcement and just bouncing around. But I really want to sway the channel direction back to asexual content because it's lacking. And I do you know what, there we go, this is what we're going to talk about. I wasn't sure what I was going to talk about. I wanted to give an update on like where I'm at and what's been going on. But we can talk about the Emilie saga and how it actually ties in to asexuality, and my channel's direction. So that's what this video is going to be about. It's going to be really chill, so just go grab a drink, and this is going to be the energy of the video. Okay, so I feel like a lot of people were introduced to okay, this might be a bit all over the place, but please try and like stick with it, and I'll try and piece it together a bit afterwards. So it should be fun to edit. Okay, so the entire Emilie saga. So I never in my wildest dreams expected to wake up one day and have that Emilie saga go on. And honestly, I never want to do it again because it was not a pleasant experience. But in a way, it was a pleasant experience. And it was really fucking beautiful. And if I can look back on my life, it's genuinely one of the things I'm the most proud of. And that might seem really fucking weird to a lot of people. If you didn't see the ins and outs and the things, if you just saw my emotional video and you didn't really see all of the Instagram content and basically the movement that was born from this entire thing, I feel like it will be very difficult to understand from an outside perspective. But I'll try to do my best to give you some insights onto why it was significant to me. Um, and it ties into asexuality. So it was tough. It was tough. I didn't sleep. I was going to sleep at 6 a.m. because I felt like I always had to be on the defense and I had to check all my Instagram comments and I had to defend myself and just always be on. It was like work. It was like the most intense job I've ever had. Um, and I would say I got totally lost in it, but I truly believed in what we were doing and what we were trying to achieve. So sacrificing, like, I was gonna say sacrificing my well-being, but it genuinely did. When you're so angry to the point of like feeling sick, you don't eat, you sleep at weird times. Audrey and Violet both live in America, so to contact them on our group chat, I would stay up late, and it wasn't even just them, but just for comments and just haters. Yeah, it totally fucked with my schedule, and it was my whole existence for those few months while everything was going down. Um, but something really crazy happened. So the reason that I got kicked out of the Stripe Stocking Society was because I got into a fight with this cis white man. And I don't even remember what, I literally cannot even remember, but he was mad. Um, I have the screenshot somewhere, but honestly, like, who cares at this point? Either way, it resulted in us beefing and me being chucked from the SSS. This guy was really going hard about racism and how we should be focusing on the larger issues, which is an argument I've heard really a lot throughout this entire saga. And it's taught me that people just see racism. So many people see racism as the KKK, white uniform, pitchforks, and they think that's the only type of racism that exists. But there are so many different levels, and the Emilie saga is such a perfect example of this. So anyways, so I'm getting into this massive beef with this guy. And it was going nowhere. I was feeling so deflated, and I was just like, why are we actually doing this? This is killing my soul. Like, yeah, what are we doing this for? Are we doing the right thing? It just started to make me question everything. So I get a message from Violet, and she shows me a screenshot of this guy that he was like a repeat offender of coming to each of us and giving good fight. He apologized, and he said this cis white guy who was so fucking angry said, do you know what, this entire issue has made me look inside myself and has made me realize that I have some unconscious bias and that I have so much internal work to do. And like, guys, do you know how incredible it is to have got through to a person like that on a level where they are going to step back and they realize they have their own issues and they need to do work on themselves? They saw and learned from us that they have internal troubles. And I was like, this is why I'm doing this. This is exactly why I'm doing this. So that was like the main thing that brought me back onto the path of like, keep on fighting, like keep going for this. Was that guy, because I just thought, wow, we are actually bringing about change. And a lot of people think this is cancel culture, but we weren't about cancelling Emilie. It was never about that. It was about her repeated offences that she has annihilated from the internet for many, many years. And I was going to do another video about that maybe one day. I really wanted to get someone to help me, and we'll research through the archives and talk about past scandals and all of the other shit that she has done, because a lot of people have jumped on us and they think we're just cancelling Emilie and they don't know of her history. But as fans, when you've seen her do the same shit year after year after year, it really was the final straw for so many of us. Like, we've known that she's trash, we just love her, so we were like trying to push it aside and keep going. But for so many of us, this was the final thing where we were like, fuck this. People need to know about what she has done before and what she is doing now. And that's why we were so intent on this Emilie stuff. But anyway, because the Emilie stuff blew up, I also blew up. Not like to a famous fucking influencer, but I definitely gained a lot of followers throughout this entire saga. This is actually really uncomfortable to lie on her. She's not very soft. She's like, yeah, it was. What was I saying now, Jigs? But yeah, because I was using my platforms to speak about this, a lot of people were finding my content. And obviously I had posted the video on this channel, and people were then, I like her in the frame, but bitches just maybe like this. Yeah, so a lot of people were finding my content. And it turns out a lot of Emilie's fans are ace. And I think it's because a lot of people were drawn to her because she announced it somewhere. I can't exactly remember where, but there was some sort of publication where she was listed as an asexual. I don't remember if it was a magazine or if it was like an online thing. But she was on this list of famous asexuals, and it's really rare to find celebrities, especially musicians as well, who have come out as ace. And I think a lot of people were drawn to her for that reason. So my ace content was starting to be found by Emilie fans, and honestly, it's gonna be cringe. This is gonna be really, really cringe. This is gonna be really cringe. It really made me like realize what I want to do with my platform. I was gonna say it made me realize my life purpose, but I just couldn't. It made me feel kind of sick to say that. Emilie saga has had individual moments of beautiful experiences and genuine change and emotion, but the overarching theme is that it has taught me the power of my fucking voice, and it has taught me that I am privileged to be able to use it and to have an influence over people and to have actually brought about change in people's lives, like me screaming into the void through a device has impacted real life people and have brought about incredible change in their personal life. And it just made me realize like what you can actually do with your platform. And I feel so inspired, which is why I'm trying to move the direction back into like asexual auntie land. But yeah, okay, so I should explain the story. But I just want to say, like, at the very beginning of 2020, I had a tarot card reading because I just wanted some general guidance and I believe in all of that stuff. So I went into this with kind of low expectations, but I had some really incredible experiences throughout. But the one that's most relevant to this is right near the end. Okay, there's so much nuance in all of this that I can't just explain without segueing, but I promise it all comes together. There was an album that I was so fucking excited for to come out called By Narco Medicine for the People, who I always preach about on here. You'll see from the last video as well. They were releasing a new album. It was called Take Your Power Back. Had heard a few songs from it, but nothing like indicating the full contents of the full experience I was going to have with that album. So anyway, I'm psyched for this. I'm waiting for the launch party. I'm just following absolutely everything about this movement, like waiting for it to happen. I go for my tarot card reading. The card that comes at the end of the okay, so I was asking her for some guidance on how I can focus more on my spiritual path and what I should be doing. And we decided it would be a really good idea to have an affirmation that I would just say daily, that would just help me stay on the right path and keep me focused on things. But there was a reoccurring theme throughout my tarot card reading of power. And we kept going, we came to the end of we came to the end of the session, and we were talking about this affirmation, and she was like, oh, do you think there's anything that's come up that we could use as your affirmation? So she draws some more cards to tie everything together, and the card that comes out is the Power card. And she's telling me that this is going to be the time where you're really going to be taking... No, I don't know if she said taking your power.
This is beautiful. You are taking back your power. That's the message. Take back your power, because I meant to put it on here. Take back your power. This is your reading. It's beautiful. You see, so you had sorrow underneath. You are letting go of the sorrow and taking back your power from sorrow.
So she literally said, I can't even remember. Yeah, so much happened. She says, you're taking back your power. You're taking back your power. What album was I waiting for to release? Take Your Power Back? So anyway, after this reading, a lot of synchronicities, I was experiencing a lot of synchronicities. Someone actually asked me to make a video about this, and I'm so happy to do that because I keep a record of them all. Well, not of them all, but I keep a record when they're very significant. Or they seem significant. I don't actually know all of the meanings and reasons why they happen. I cannot explain it, but I went through this euphoric time of feeling like I am being directly divinely guided and I am on the exact path that I should be on right now, and the angels are working, my guides are working, and everything is falling into place. That's exactly what it felt like. Everything was, yeah, just euphoric and magical, and just everything was aligning, and I really was finding my voice. And this was before shit even happened with Emilie. But how could we have this significant thing, this affirmation of taking back my power, and then the Emilie saga happened? And for me, it had such a personal connection. I don't know what the correct word is, but it had so much more meaning. And I think it's why I kept getting so bothered when people were telling me that I was part of cancel culture, because I never was out to just cancel her, and it wasn't about that. It was about the fact that she tried to take away my voice. And this year, this is my time, and I'm taking my fucking power back, and no one is gonna take my voice from me. So yeah, I don't want to go too much into it, but during a euphoric time, I got into a relationship. And I thought that we were gonna be together for a long time. It was my first proper relationship. And I'm gonna make a separate video about it, not going like TMI or not being rude to the person who it was with. But I feel like it's very important for those who have been following my journey with my asexuality, because I feel like it came out of nowhere on my content and then it was suddenly gone, and I think that was very confusing for a lot of people who like follow me on this journey. So I feel like I owe you some clarification, and I genuinely learned so much from that experience that I would like to share with you guys. Anyway, so not going too much into it, but shit started to go wrong. And a day of significance was the Scorpio full moon, and I had already been feeling that I had to get out of this, to put it in short. And I was on YouTube, and obviously like the Scorpio full moon, for those who don't know, the Scorpio full moon is about bringing things to the surface. If you have any hidden truths, if there's anything going on, Scorpio moon is gonna bring that shit up and tell you about it and make you feel it. And as a Scorpio, it was some of the most intense feelings of intuition I have ever experienced in my life. And I was gonna do my own tarot card reading on this night. I had my cards out and I was ready. And then I was on YouTube, and in my suggestions bar, there was a video. And it said, Scorpio, you will be happy again, just not with who you think. Listen, when I watched this video, I have never been so freaked out in my entire life. It was as if the woman was inside my brain. Every single detail of what I was going through was out on the table. It was like a personal reading, and this is a general reading that she's put out into the universe, and it's in my fucking suggestions. I click it, and everything she says is a message for me. And I still watch it back sometimes just to freak myself out, because that's how accurate this video was. Since then, the same channel, I haven't found the content to really relate to me that much. So I just think in the Scorpio moon, everything was aligned. I was already experiencing synchronicities, and the universe and my guides were like, you need this right now. You already know this, but we are going to reaffirm this to you. And I just knew that day I had to break up with my partner. I don't want to like go too much into it, but we're going to go into it separately. But this is really important because this is about kind of my spiritual path for this 2020. So Scorpio full moon, yeah, I freak out watch this reading. There were some other reasons why I wasn't just gonna like pick up the phone and be like, it's done. I felt like I needed to be really cautious, and I felt like I had to wait and approach the situation very carefully to do it in a way that wouldn't be harmful to the other person, or would be like the least harmful. And during this relationship, it really, really solidified that I am the strongest on my own, and I cannot have anyone affect my happiness and my power. And I felt in that relationship that my power was being taken away. You see a theme? You see the theme here this year? And Scorpio full moon was like, sis, who are you right now? Like, I'm disappointed in you. Like, what the fuck are you doing to yourself? Get out. I've never felt my spiritual higher self. I don't know who it is. I've never felt a connection and a guidance so strong in my entire life as that Scorpio moon period. So I came out of that period. I came out of that relationship, and this euphoric feeling came back. The Emilie saga happened, and I was not letting that girl take any of my power, Emilie. And I was seeing that people were coming to me. People were feeling inspired by me using my voice, and I learned that not everybody is able to do this, but I am gifted to have the confidence to speak up, and I need to use my voice. Otherwise, it's a disservice to myself. And I really started to feel like this is my truth and this is what I'm here for. So the Emilie, I'm trying to think of the timeline because a lot has happened and everything's been enhanced by lockdown as well. So the Emilie saga and asexuality, this is what it's supposed to be about. Because my content was all linked, so people were finding my Instagram and finding other posts, they were finding that I was asexual as well. And I received the most beautiful message that made me cry. Actually, many of the messages made me cry, but this one really got me. The video I made on one of my birthdays really was one of like the darkest times of my life. That's been a people find and connect with, which makes me sad because I was not in a good place then. And it really heightens to me, this is why I want to make the content I do and help people on their asexual journey. Because if that's one of my most popular ace videos and not the positive one, it shows that we have a lot of work to do. But anyway, I received a message from someone on Instagram. I actually asked them for permission if I could post on my Instagram, and they did say yes. So I cut it and I put it because I would print it and put it on my wall because I've never been touched like that. I've never been so moved by a message. And paraphrasing, the person had found me through the Emilie saga, and they found my videos, and through my videos realized that the feelings they have been struggling with and the inner turmoil they have, through my videos, they realize that they are asexual. And it blew my mind. Because I remember how it felt to not know what this was and what was wrong with me, and to struggle with feeling so fucked up. And then it was a girl that I was talking to for an app, actually. There's a whole story with her. Maybe she can go in the dating fails video. Next video. She was like, hey, I think you might be asexual. And I was like, what's that? And I can't even. I would say to you that it's life changing, but it doesn't have enough impact. I can't tell you what it feels like to have a definition for this thing that you've been struggling with for years. And to know that I have helped someone label this thing and let them know that they are okay and this is normal, and there are others who are going through it too. This is what I'm here for. And they know this is what I'm here for. And it just put so much into perspective for me, and it's just the reason why now I want to really focus on the ace content. The fact that I can have that much power and influence to help someone who has struggled the same struggle I have experienced myself. That's why it connects with me so much that I've done that for someone else. It's just, I just can't even words. And they aren't the only person. I can't tell you the messages that I received, the beautiful messages that I received from other people that thank me for talking about being ace, because it just doesn't exist. So friends, imagine having an affirmation and having everything align, and then the Black Lives Matter movement happens. There was also a very significant mushroom trip that I had. I actually made a video about this, so I don't need to talk about this. So go and watch my eerie episodes. First episode? Episode 1? I think I've only made one. I've got them in my brain, but I haven't actually done them. I know how to summarize the BLM movement. I don't want to segue too much. I'm gonna make a separate video on my race. And like my own personal experience with like fully loving my race and accepting all of it. Anyway, that's going to be a different thing because it's going to be like a really long video. But the BLM movement, again, made me realize some things that have gone on in my personal life, my family life. It made me realize that I had biases against certain sides of my family because of things that I had been taught when I was young. And in short, I reconnected with those people because I took my power back and realized that I personally don't have experiences with these people to have them exiled from my life, but I have done that because of other people's influence. So I took my power back and I messaged those people and reconnected with them. I'm not going to get into the actual issue of police brutality and the shit that's going on in America, but obviously the themes of power and the misuse of power is a massive glaring issue. But it ties in with this wave of power that's been coming through 2020 for me. I just can't, I just don't have words to explain the effect that it had on me. All the gruesome, deplorable shit that's going on in America, there has been some beauty from it. And the overall unity of everyone and us pulling together and us collectively taking our fucking power back and standing up and standing against injustice. I don't have words, but it's just the affirmation is coming back, and this time it's collective and it's so fucking powerful. And of course then the BLM movement is the reason why this Emilie stuff started. So just the way that everything segues in, and the personal effect that BLM had on me and like my family and reconnecting. It's just been a year. I don't want this to be like a preachy video of like, oh, I'm so great, but I want this to be inspiring to you, to show you the power of your voice. But if you don't feel able for whatever reason, at least, okay, if you don't feel able to like fight like I was actively fighting the Emilie saga, that's okay. That means it's not for you. But just don't take shit from anyone. Never let people disrespect you. Learn the power of your voice and learn to deeply love and respect yourself, and do not tolerate any bullshit. I just want that to be the conclusion of this Emilie saga. No matter who they are, your idols, your family, you should always be your highest priority, and you should never let anybody take your voice. Ever. And that's why I get so heated about this entire saga. Never let anyone take your voice from you. And it's funny. It's so ironic. It hurts that Emilie's own lyrics, my voice is my weapon of choice. Like, Emilie, you taught me to be like this. Emilie, I don't know, like, Emilie, like, I'm talking to you right now, Emilie. You can feel me because now you're a spiritual lady. Let's connect right now, Emilie. You taught us to fight. You taught us our power. You taught us to uprise and to fight against the system. You betrayed us then. But you were our role model. You taught us how to be like this. And now you're flipping the script and you're upset at us for doing what you taught us to do. But as more of your lyrics say, we learned from the very best. We think you just might be impressed. We learned from you and you flipped it on us. But I'm grateful for that. I'm actually grateful for the messages that you taught me and the inner strength you've given me, because you have been so influential in my life. I can't deny it. I wouldn't deny it. But yeah, you know, I'm also grateful that this shit happened and exposed you. And it taught me not to take anyone's shit. And it really taught me, this entire year has taught me to fully fucking love myself to the fullest. Power back and rise like a mighty fucking wave, baby. Can you see us? Jigs wants to see. Also, I want to slide this in somewhere. So this was the day that I got my tattoo. Today I got a really significant tattoo and it has me feeling reflective. I don't really care if no one will read this novel, but I want to mark the occasion. If you leave at this point, I'll leave you with this. What does reclaiming your power mean to you? It can be as trivial as wearing shorts in public when you haven't removed any hair for 2 weeks. And let me tell you, I have PCOS, so it's bad. 13-year-old me would have cried at the thought. Never in my wildest dreams would I have imagined feeling powerful doing that. It can be as significant as the BLM movement. If you feel inspired, please leave me a comment about what taking your power back means for you. My affirmation for 2020 was birthed in a tarot card reading at the start of the year. The reading ended on the power card. Around the time I was so hyped for an album with the same title. It hadn't even been released but seemed so uncanny. I don't think I'll ever experience a listening experience as I did the first time hearing that album. It felt like it was perfectly synced with everything I was going through. I felt so inspired and reaffirmed. The ending of my relationship played a significant role in lighting my fire of reclaiming my power. I've never felt my intuition so strong as the end of that period of time and shortly after. It directly aligned with the Scorpio moon, and I've never felt so guided by a force. I followed it completely and began to experience so many synchronicities and incredible things coming my way. Then the BLM movement happened, and it caused me to reflect on my own race. I can't go into this because of the word limit, but you can see my other post about it. Then the EA saga happened. Be it terrifying, I've never felt so fucking powerful. I've never felt prouder to use my voice and stand up for bullshit and see others find theirs. I never could have predicted my affirmation would apply to something like the EA scandal, but looking back, it was pretty amazing. On this day, I've legally registered and trademarked my own company and marked my skin forever with my affirmation to never forget that I'm a powerful bitch and I will never let anyone dull my fire. Next level, let's fucking go. So I think that's all I want to say. It's been a bit of all over the place. But yeah, I feel like I've summarized. Future, there's gonna be some more A's content. I had a list of ideas and it was so fire. I had it on my Instagram and I cannot find it, and I scrolled back through every single highlight I have posted and I could not find it. But it had topics that I want to discuss in future. So some examples would be the alienation of asexuality from the LGBTQIA plus acronym, the fact that allies replace us in most occasions, in general asexual awareness and the importance of it, dating. I wanted to do a series about dating in terms of online dating and how I think you should approach dating in general as an asexual, and actually on a flip side if you want to date an asexual. Now that I've had my experience in an actual relationship and I've seen stuff, I just, from that experience, there's a lot that I can teach you. And errors I made too, for sure. I definitely should not have got into a relationship. But you guys know what it's like when you're ace and yet lonely. Oh, I want to talk about music and the effects of music when you're in a bad state with your asexuality. That's really good video that I want to make. Is any other ace content that you would like to see? Let me know and it's gonna come for you. My DMs are always open if you're struggling with your ace stuff, if you just need to talk, if you want to talk about something random, you just need someone, but especially for those who are finding it difficult to accept themselves, you are going to be okay and I love you so fucking much, okay? Okay, so if you need me, DM me. I'm always here for you, always. And that's it, I think. So take your fucking power back, yo.